Our first tale takes us to a place often called the most haunted in all of India, a place so feared even the Indian government warns you not to visit after the sunset. The place is called Bhangarh Fort, which is located deep in the heart of Rajasthan, surrounded by the Aravalli Hills. It is a very old fort built around the 16th century by King Madho Singh. Bhangarh was once a thriving kingdom which now stands in eerie silence, but the silence carries echoes of a story centuries old. The story begins with a beautiful princess, Ratnavati, known for her unmatched beauty and grace. But beauty, as they say, can be a dangerous thing as well. People across the border were captivated by her. One such obsessed person was Singya, a black magician. He was so charmed by her beauty, he decided to attain her using his black magic. He tried to enchant her with a love potion, hiding it in her perfume. Ratnavati wasn't so easily fooled. She knew enough about dark magic to see through the trick. She threw the bottle onto a rock, which, legend says, rolled down and crushed the magician to death. With his dying breath, he cursed Princess Ratnavati and the entire town of Bhangarh to ruin. He cursed they will all die and will never be born again, and their spirits be trapped in this fort. Soon after, war struck and thousands of people died. In the chaos, Ratnavati also died. Since then, everyone started to fear the curse, and soon they started to evacuate the place. Bhangarh now stands in eerie silence. More than half of the fort is now in ruins. The kingdom is gone. The people vanished. No one calls Bhangarh home anymore. Tourists claim to have seen ghostly apparitions along with the reports of music and dancing coming from within the city and fortress. It is also strongly believed that people who visit the fort at night will not return back. Few incidents have been reported which cements this belief. One such incident claims that a group of young boys bribed the keeper of the fort to let them inside. One of them got injured by falling into a steep. Though he got rescued immediately by his friends while rushing back to hospital, all of them met with an accident and died on the spot. Although there is no proof of whether these and other such Bhangarh Fort incidents are true or not, the fort's mysterious reputation remains firmly alive. In the summer of 2002, as temperatures soared across northern India, something strange began to happen in the quiet villages of Uttar Pradesh. People started reporting attacks, not by dacoits or animals, but by something that came from the sky, something no one could explain. They called it the Muhnochwa. The word Muhnochwa literally means face scratcher, and that's exactly what it did. Victims would wake up screaming, their faces marked with deep scratches, swelling, and burns. Some were even hospitalized, but there was no sign of an attacker. They described it as a ball of light. Some said it looked mechanical, like a glowing insect or even a robot. But no matter what it was, the marks it left behind were real. Deep scratches, burns, and bruises. For weeks, entire communities were paralyzed with fear. Families stopped sleeping indoors. People guarded their roofs with sticks, metal sheets, and homemade helmets. In Kanpur alone, over 50 cases were officially reported in just 1 month. One such case was that of a farmer. He had gone to sleep on the terrace to escape the heat. Around midnight, he felt a sharp sting on his face. When he woke up, blood was pouring from deep gashes on his cheeks and forehead. He swore he saw a glowing orb hovering just above him before it zipped away into the darkness. In another incident, a woman was sleeping beside her young son when she heard a strange buzzing noise, like a swarm of bees. Before she could react, she saw a blinding blue flash. The next morning, both she and her son had burns on their arms and faces, as if they'd been touched by acid. Stories like these spread like wildfire, and soon theories followed. Some thought it was a supernatural entity. Others believed it was a government experiment gone wrong, a rogue drone, maybe. A few even whispered about alien visitors. Then, as suddenly as it appeared, the Muhnochwa vanished. No explanation, no capture, no proof. Muhnochwa vanished, leaving behind only scars and stories. But in some corners of rural India, if you ask the right people, they'll tell you. It's still out there. Along the western coast of India, where the Arabian Sea touches the land, there lies a place wrapped in mystery, a place where the living and the dead seem to coexist under the moonlit sky. This is Dumas Beach, Gujarat's haunted shore. By day, it's a beautiful stretch of coastline, the laughter of tourists, the scent of street food in the air, dogs barking in the distance. But when the sun sinks into the sea, the true face of Dumas Beach begins to emerge. According to legend, this land was once a sacred Hindu burial ground. The bodies of the dead were cremated here, their ashes seeping into the soil, staining the sands a dark, unsettling black. Over the years, stories began to surface, strange encounters, sounds in the night, and sightings no one could explain. Locals speak in hushed voices about the spirits that never left. They say that after midnight, faint whispers ride the ocean breeze, laughter echoes across the shore, and figures, blurred and half-formed, appear in the mist. Some who dared to walk the beach after dark never returned, gone without a trace, swallowed by the black sands and the secrets they hide. Visitors have reported feeling unseen hands brushing against them, hearing their names called out from the emptiness, feeling a sudden pull towards the water. Even the animals know better. The stray dogs that roam the beach during the day vanish before night falls, leaving the land something else. Skeptics call it superstition. Scientists blame it on the salty winds and the imagination playing tricks in the dark. But those who have been there, those who have felt it, know the truth. At Dumas Beach, the dead are never really gone. They are waiting, just beyond the edge of the light. They say some stories are just old village tales, meant to scare children, meant to be forgotten. But in the dusty lanes of Karnataka, one name still lingers. One phrase still painted on crumbling walls: Naale Ba. It all began in the 1990s in small towns and villages across southern Karnataka. People started hearing things at night, a knock at the door, a familiar voice calling out. Sometimes it was a mother's voice, sometimes a child's, sometimes it was your own name, whispered from the dark. If you opened the door, you disappeared. No signs of struggle, no blood, just an empty home, and questions no one could answer. Soon, panic spread. Rumors told of a witch, a spirit that wandered the streets at night. She could mimic voices, she knew your secrets, and she came only for one thing: to take you. But then, someone had an idea. A simple phrase written outside the house: Naale Ba. Come tomorrow. The legend says the witch would read it and obey. She'd return the next day, and then the next, and the next, forever stuck in an endless cycle of tomorrow. Soon, entire neighborhoods had the words painted across their doors and gates. Naale Ba became a ritual, a protection spell, a symbol of fear and survival. People stopped answering their doors after sunset. Children were warned never to speak to voices from outside. Even weddings were planned according to the witch's rumored movements. But here's the thing. No one ever saw her. No one ever caught her. No one really knows what or who she was. Mass hysteria? A real haunting? Or something darker, hiding in the silence? In 2018, the legend got a second life through the Bollywood film Stree, inspired directly by the Naale Ba story. Even now, in quiet corners of Karnataka, the words still remain, faded, scratched into old doorways, barely visible. But no one dares erase them, because who knows? What if she's still wandering, still knocking, still waiting for someone to get to say, Naale Ba, come tomorrow?